favourite of the paparazzo. No pictures, no pictures.
This week on Historical Wife Swap, these Egyptian peasants will be doing a wife swap with Pharaoh Ramesses II and his wife Nefertari. So how will these different ancient Egyptian couples get on?
Oh, who are you?
Mrs. Pharaoh?
Shouldn't you be at my house?
Mrs. Pharaoh is at your house. I'm Mrs. Pharaoh number 2. Ramesses II's got 6 wives.
Bit greedy.
And 200 girlfriends.
I am the great Pharaoh, born of Ra, chosen of Ra, for powerful is the truth of Ra. Half king, half god, master of all I survey, Ramesses II, glory be to my name. And you are...
Susan.
An honor for you to meet me.
So what will Nefertari, the Pharaoh's #1 wife, make of Mr. Peasant?
Oh, Your Majesty!
Get up, peasant. But don't look at me. Oh, it's that terrible smell.
Could be me, Your Majesty. I've been dragging 2-ton boulders round the desert to help build your husband's temple.
No, you do stink, peasant, but it's much worse than that.
Oh, could be the gazelle dung I've put on the floor.
Oh, why on earth would you do that?
Keeps the rats away from food.
Rats!
Or it could be the walls. They're made of manure. And the Nile flooded the hut last month, so there's still a bit, how shall I put it, sweaty.
I can tell I'm going to just love it here.
Great.
Meanwhile, over at the palace, it's dinner time.
Here, peasant, try one of these.
What is it, my Pharaoh?
Locust and honey.
That's delicious.
I think I'm going to grab an early night. I have to be up before the sun comes up. Well, obviously I do. I'm the one who gets the sun up. I've done a joke. That's more like it.
You won't believe this. The royal palace has got beds with comfy pillows made of stone and a sort of seat thing that you sit on to go to the toilet. What will they think of next?
And it's also dinner time in the peasant hut.
Oh!
Sorry, Your Majesty. We do get a lot of mosquitoes. That's the downside of living near the Nile. The plus side is that the Nile floods, so the soil here is very fertile. And when it does flood, we farmers get a few months off to go to the desert and drag around 2-ton boulders for Pharaoh.
Ow! Well, at least it gets you away from all these mosquitoes.
And nearer the deadly scorpions. Do you not want your onion?
Don't look at me! You're not going to believe where I had to sleep. On some straw, on the floor. Yeah, that's right. On the floor with all the gazelle poop. Swear I've got nits. Oh, woof. Look, there's one. I'll have to throw this wig away.
The wife swap is at an end, and it's time for the royal couple and the peasant couple to discuss their experiences.
I understand you've been helping build my temple, the Ramesseum. What an honor for you. How looks the 19-meter statue of me?
Oh, it is magnificent, Pharaoh.
Although not as impressive as the real thing. Your work is done, but I have some good news for you. I would like you to build another massive temple alongside for my favorite wife.
Oh, Rami, baby, that's so sweet.
Oh, you want one too, do you? Don't book any holidays.
We did actually discuss this, Rami.
Did we? I don't remember.
Well, you had a lot of palm wine to drink.
Well, you don't speak up.
Do you think we can get up now, love?
I wouldn't risk it.
No.
Queen Nefertari suffered from alopecia, so she wore a wig. Expensive Egyptian wigs were made of 120,000 human hairs held in place by beeswax. Is that a wig, Your Majesty? Oh, mind your own beeswax.
Awful Egyptians.
True or false? Queen Cleopatra's first marriage was to a 12-year-old. It's true. And he was also her brother. In fact, she married 2 of her brothers, dated one Roman general, and married another, all of whom came to sticky ends.
So, basically, Cleo was a real love rat. And not in a good way. Getting close to Cleo was a dangerous business. If ancient Egyptians had had the internet, you wouldn't have wanted to be her online friend. Just imagine.
Mark Antony has accepted me as a friend on Mummibo. Excellent. Thanks for the ad. Smiley hieroglyphic.
Queen Cleopatra.
Hell, yourself?
Yeah, I was just looking at your Mumebo profile, and I couldn't help but notice you haven't got many friends.
Yeah, well, I did have my sister, Pharaoh Cleopatra VI, but she died in suspicious circumstances. And my other sister, Pharaoh Berenice IV, but she was executed. Then there were my half-brothers, Pharaoh Ptolemy XIII, drowned, and Pharaoh Ptolemy XIV, poisoned.
Sounds like being on the throne in Egypt is a pretty dangerous job, Cleo. Do you never get scared?
Oh, no, I'll be fine. I just need a powerful Roman to stand alongside me.
Or what, like Caesar? Didn't you date him?
Yeah.
Now he's dead.
Yeah. About that, there's now a vacancy, so do you want to go out with me?
No.
Oh, please, 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 please. I'll put you on my top 10 friends list.
Okay. In for a denarius, in for a sestertius. More like a top 2 friends list. Who's this other one?
Oh, yeah, that's my sister, Arsinoe.
At last, a member of your family who isn't dead.
About that.
Cleo.
Yeah, the thing is, she's the last threat to my throne, so I need to have Arsinoe killed. You don't mind if I put your name on the assassination warrant, do you? Please, 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 please.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Nasty business, but had to be done. Now you and me can rule the Egyptian Empire in peace.
Right, great. Oh, what was that noise? Did something go wrong?
Oh, yeah, it says there's a problem with the transaction. I probably just need to update my Papyrus Pal account. Oh.
What? What is it?
Yeah. Turns out Arsinoe was on the steps of a sacred temple when you murdered her.
When I murdered her?
Rome is up in arms. We're in big trouble.
What are we going to do?
Well, if we want to die with dignity, we'll have to kill ourselves before the Roman army get to us.
What? Oh, this is most inconvenient. Oh, well, I suppose...
No, wait. I suppose we could pretend to kill ourselves and then just hide.
Oh, now you tell me, Cleo. You are literally the worst girlfriend I've ever had, and I've had some shockers.
Right. Looks like I'll have to do the same then. I'll get a poisonous snake to bite me. I mean, that's quite a regal way to go. An asp? Perfect. How much?
Greetings, fair fans. I am Vincenzo Larfoff, and this week's scary story is The Curse of Tutankhamun. It was 1922, a particularly ghoulish year, when an archaeologist named Howard Carter discovered the tomb of Tutankhamun, the ancient Egyptian pharaoh. As the dastardly digger crept inside the tomb, he found not only the king's great treasures, but there, in the burial chamber, trapped within a golden sarcophagus, the ancient pharaoh's mummy. And as we all know, nothing is more frightening than mummy.
Go and tidy your room!
And on the wall above the dead king's body was written a curse. Death shall come on swift wings to him who disturbs the peace of the king. Yes, ooh, indeed. The curse was quick to bite. Within a year, the man who paid for the dig, Lord Carnarvon, dropped down dead. And as he did, all the lights in Cairo, the Egyptian capital, went out. And at that exact same moment, back home in England, his dog howled in the moonlight. The curse of Tutankhamun had struck. But what would become of the man who first broke into the mummy's tomb? What fate would befall Howard Carter himself? He died years later of completely natural causes. It turned out that Lord Carnarvon died from an infected mosquito bite. The lights in Cairo went out because the electrics were dodgy. And his dog howled, well, because that's just what dogs do, isn't it? It was nothing to do with the mummy. Oh, just stop it. The curse was just made up by the newspapers. Why am I here? I mean, you know, if it's not a real ghost story, why get me? Get John Barrowman or Anton Deck. I'm off. And I'm keeping the jacket.
Awful Egyptians!
Looking this good isn't easy. It's dead complicated to make a mummy.
Of Egyptian kings we know oh so many things, 'cause the archaeologists have dug their tombs. Now we're here to show how to treat a dead pharaoh, make a mummy that can decorate your room. First your dead king's lain on a table where his brain is pulled out with a wire through his nose. Then his guts and lungs, stomach, liver must be bunged in 4 jars so they do not decompose. Pour out salt to dry on the body, let it lie there for 40 days until it mummifies. In the bandage wrap up the body, leave a gap for the mouth and pop in artificial eyes. Hello! In the coffin cold, lay out prayers and little scrolls that will guard him on his journey far ahead. Pack his tomb with wealth, which he'll need for his health if he makes it to the country of the dead. Now you've done your job, there are villains who will rob, so our mummy and its coffin we defend. Build a pyramid high so it points up to the sky. Place your dead king deep inside, and that's the end.
The past is no longer a mystery. Welcome to Horrible Histories.